Am I a Chelsea fan? I want to be your PA. So this is something that most people do not know about me. This question is very interesting. Another sunny day in Southern California. Hi guys, welcome back. And if you're just joining us for the first time, please subscribe. I think last week I put out a Q&A session where I asked people to, ask me questions that they want to know about me. To my greatest surprise, I got tons of questions, both on Instagram and also on Twitter, and it has been very funny. So I'm just going to dive in. So the first question is, which state are you from? Originally, I'm from Enugu State. I would say originally because there are other things that I would add to that, but I'm from Enugu State. What school did you study for your PhD program and what course? I'm still a PhD student and my area of focus is indigenous law. So you could just tell that I'm a law PhD student, right? Are you married or engaged? I am married. I'm married actually. I got married February 14th, 2023. That was a few months ago. Someone said, this is actually not a question. And the person was like, good day, Summer. Just want to appreciate you for all the updates concerning scholarship abroad. Thank you. Thank you, my darling. Thank you so much. Omolo Abi. That's the person's name. Omuzurike Faith said, please, I need your help in finding scholarship. I mean, if you've been following me for close to 3 to 4 years now, all I do is dish out information with regards to scholarship. And I do that on my other platforms like Twitter. You could check my Twitter handle, just check my page. You'll see that all I post, major 90% of everything I post is strictly scholarship or how to relocate abroad, right? You could also check my Instagram. I post a lot of clips there where I also give insights. However, there's something that I am planning because I know that not everyone can, access all this information because of either their phones and all of that. So there's something that I'm really planning, and that's something that you should look out for. And that will be launching anytime between May and June, but you should actually have your ears on the ground. So that means you need to follow me on other platforms and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can know when it launches. Another question is, on arrival to Canada, will the immigration officers ask you to show proof of funds on your bank or paper? So I think what this person is just trying to ask me is, what are the questions with regards to proof of funds that are asked at the border? So it depends on the immigration officer. Some of them just want to know if you've paid your tuition. Some of them just want to see your bank statements that you uploaded while you were applying for visas. They just have to have copies of that because they might just ask you. So I think that's the question that's been asked. Will Raleigh join you abroad immediately she finishes school? So Raleigh is my younger sister, and that's the plan. What advice can you give to someone whose dream is to relocate abroad? Now, that's my problem when I ask people to get to know me, because the kind of questions they ask me are really scholarship related questions. And this is, despite the fact that I'm trying so hard not to really be all about scholarships. But then my advice to you is that you need to be focused, you need to be resilient, you need to figure out what you really want. I know that right now there's this whole trend of you need to relocate abroad, but I would say that's the Japa syndrome. So I would just say, find out what works for you. Do you really need to relocate abroad? If you really want to, what are the courses that you want to focus on? Maybe you want to change your course. Maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe you studied law and then you want to go into, let's say, psychology, right? So there are tons and tons of information out there for you, but I'll just say, be resilient, be focused, be intentional, right? Start writing your goals early and then start working towards that. Did you face financial difficulties when you were in school? I don't know what the person is talking about. If the person is talking about because I'm still in school, right? I'm a PhD student and I was a master's student and I did all of that in Canada. So I don't know the point that I was talking about when I was in Nigeria. And to be very honest, I did not, because my parents were giving me money for school. And I also had businesses that I was running, even though I was a student, right? So I don't know exactly. And then if you're talking about when I came to Canada, it was just fully funded from beginning and up till now. And I'm still on a fully funded scholarship. And I have never, had any financial difficulty. Are you more richer in Canada than when you were in Nigeria? Hell yeah. Yes, because I'm being paid to study. I have money free money for my living expenses and all of that. So I do not basically have to do anything. It's more or less like if I work, fine. If I don't work, that's still okay because my funding is taking good care of me. So I would say yes. Also coupled with the fact that when I was in Nigeria, as an associate in a law firm, I was earning below 100,000. So I could tell you for free that what I earn in Canada in an hour is more than that 100K. So just so that you know, I don't want to call figures. Another question is, who inspired you? This is by Tilly. Tilly, thank you. Who inspired you to be a human rights lawyer? How did the idea cross your mind? Okay, so this is I've talked about this in one of my poems. I write a lot, and in that poem, it is yet to be published, but I could just like briefly talk about it. So in that poem, I kind of like talked about how, growing up in a society where I've seen some men really maltreat their wives, like beat them, and even some women, the way they treat their helps. I do not like such things. It affects me, right? So I was very little when there was this, lady and her husband who were our neighbors at the time. Every morning you wake up to beatings, either the man was beating the wife or the wife was beating the help. There was just one story going on there, and it was crazy for me. So I knew that I had a journal, and that's why, if you notice right now, I'm still into journaling. And I wrote in that journal that I must grow up to defend the less privileged, right? So even though right now it might seem like my career path has changed, it hasn't, because I'm focused on Indigenous law. Indigenous law, if you read about it, especially the Indigenous peoples in Canada, you'll find out that they are the marginalized, even though they are the first persons, to live in Canada, right? So it's more or less like they're the owners of the land. Let's put it that way. So, and then they are being marginalized, their lands are taken away from them. That's still human rights. So, this is not who inspired, but what inspired. So these are the circumstances that inspired me to focus on human rights, per se. And then this is from my sister Chelsea. She's like, I want to be your PA. Please just go and sleep. I hope you're ready. Okay, so this question is very funny. And this is my friend. So this is something that most people do not know about me. And she's like, hope you're ready to dance when we go clubbing. I love to dance. So that is for me to answer that question. I love to dance, and I'm the life of the party. Forget all this whole, so I just wanted to put that out. Someone asked Twitter's names, like their names can be very funny, but someone just asked, what will be your ideal travel destination? So I fantasize a lot about going to Santorini. I really want to travel to Santorini, even if it's just for 2 nights. I really want to travel there because it's just aesthetically pleasing, right? So yeah, tell me in the comment section what you also like, where you think you want to travel to. Where is your travel destination? I mean, as I'm talking, I just want you guys also flow with me and let me know what you're really interested in. And then this question is very funny. I take that back. Not funny, but I haven't really talked about it, not because of anything. The person said, Kenne Hills asked, how old are you? I'm actually 26. I will be 27 in June. In 2 months, right? So I'm gonna be 27 in 2 months. So yeah. So Habib asked the question, what school did you graduate from and course of study? So by now I'm sure you all know that I studied law.
You think it's easy to grab a BSc law?
I did my undergraduate in law, I did my master's in law, and I'm currently doing my PhD in law, right? So the school I graduated from is Anambra State University, which is now known as Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University. That's COOU for short. Smart asked, how long does it take you to achieve your Canadian dream? It took me a year, because that 1 year I was using that to prepare, to do my research, right? So it took me a year to kind of prepare and to just, apply, and I got admission and all of that. So let's say between 2018 December to 2019 September, I already applied and I got admission. I was doing my research and I got admission in 2020. So it took me roughly a year to do my research. So my Canadian dream was, I'd say, approximately 16 months, thereabout. Yeah. What inspired me to move to Canada? So what it really inspired me to move to Canada was I really wanted to now be in the academic space, and I knew that I wanted to be a professor of law. And the only country that I felt, or out of my doing my research, that I figured that was going to help me achieve that goal within a short period of time was Canada. The United States, I felt it was going to be a long road. And I also felt like the UK is not just as easy as it seems, but like in Canada, if you're done with your PhD, sure, even while you're a PhD student, if you're following the right people and if you're doing the right things, if you're publishing articles here and there, you're most likely going to get a position as a PhD student once you're done with your candidacy exam, obviously. So you could get an assistant professor position, which to me was fair. I really want something like that. So that's why I chose Canada, because I felt like everything was just going to be easy for me in Canada. And I'm still not wrong. Am I a Chelsea fan?
Chelsea.
To all my Chelsea fans, I'm sorry. I am not a Chelsea fan. I'm a Man City fan. Yes. What year did I migrate? I migrated to Canada in 2020. And then someone coolly says, just love you from afar. Continue to be the good person that you are. Thank you. Thank you. I have one question I'm going to come back to. It's just important that I do. I want to treat that question last. So let's say this is the second to my last question. So this question says, what inspires you the most? I don't know whether I would say what, or I think I just inspire myself. And it might seem a bit off or cliche, but that's the truth. I like to imagine things a lot. I am a very good planner. I plan a lot. I imagine things a lot. I dream a lot. So sometimes I say, oh, I want to get to a certain stage in my life. Sometimes I browse about people who are in that path, and then I just try to see maybe their stories, or maybe check their journeys and all of that, if they had footprints online. Sometimes, depending on the person, I try to go to a certain level, which is sending them messages to just figure out, who are you, how did you get here? I'll give you an instance. I am someone that have different people that inspire me for different things in different aspects of my life. For instance, when it comes to scholarships, there are different scholarships and there are different people that I admire. For instance, if I want to apply for a certain scholarship, I know that I have to go and look out for people, past winners, read about them. In some cases, and in most cases, I send them direct messages, connect with them, ask them questions, know how they won the scholarship. So that's it for me. This question is very interesting. So Aboyomi asked if I've ever suffered heartbreak, or at any point in my life have I felt lonely or neglected. And the truth is, yes, I have. I mean, heartbreak, yes. I have, but I've healed. So it is one of those things that we have to experience sometimes in life. And then if I felt lonely and neglected, yes, I felt lonely. When I moved to Canada, I was lonely because that was the first time I was leaving my family in Nigeria for a very long time. And I'm big on celebrations, right? So staying in Canada without my family to celebrate Christmas with, or to even have, celebrate my birthday with, I think my 25th birthday, that was in 2021. I really felt it, right? It was different. I felt lonely. I was missing my friends. I was missing my family back home in Nigeria. So yes, that was one time. So there are tons of questions, that I could go on and on. I would really love to do this often, but I think that right now, maybe not. You might have gotten to know one or two about me. Thank you for listening and watching me. I hope that you were able to get one or two things about me that you probably did not know. And you can also let me know what is the shocking response that I gave, or something that you never thought about. I really want to know that. And also, you could go ahead and tell me what you want me to talk about in the next video. I would actually be reading the comments. So please, 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 and please do that. Bye. And do not forget to subscribe.